if freedom fails. We'd like to take you on a visit to a town that doesn't exist. A town we call Springfield, USA. We'd like to show you how things would be in any American town if communism took over. This is a factual account of communist methods of conquest. The play is entitled Enemy of the People.
Mr. Poole, Poole.
Yes, Mayor?
Is all the city council here?
Everyone except Clayton. He'll be along right away. He just called.
Now, I want all the council to stand here on the upper steps.
Yes, sir.
I'll stand down there where the car will stop and bring the man up here to introduce you. Oh, by the way, Poole, what do I call him? Commissar or comrade, or do I use Mr.?
He's an American, isn't he?
Well, yes, his name is Martin. He's an old-time communist, according to what I've heard. Been a party leader for a long time.
Oh, I guess Mr. would be best. He'll probably let you know if that's wrong.
Well, that's just it, Poole. I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. After all, this Martin will be complete charge of the city, and his word will be law. And he'll want a few changes made, I imagine. And I don't want to be one of those changes.
Well, don't worry about it, Mr. Mayor. We'll just have to learn how to live under the communists. It shouldn't be too difficult.
Is the town set ahead there, driver?
Yes, sir, it is.
Good. Take us directly to the city hall.
Yes, sir.
Now, Farrington, your lesson's about to start.
It's a privilege to have my first assignment under a man of your reputation, Comrade Martin.
Ready for your speech. Sounded almost routine, like something you'd memorized.
I did.
Excellent. I've taken a lot of young communists out with me to indoctrinate them with our methods of taking over a locality. Knuckleheads, most of them. Wide-eyed revolutionaries that were about as subtle as a pratfall. But I don't think you're that way.
No, Comrade Martin, I'm not. I'm going to do big things in the party.
You have a pretty good start already. I believe you're a graduate of the Lenin School in Moscow, aren't you?
Yes.
Then let's see how well you were trained. Describe the locality, please.
Well, Springfield is a town of about 18,000 persons, mostly middle class. 3 wealthy families, principally a farming community with its main income based on the wheat fields which surround it. Other prominent features of the town include the small college, the rolling mills, 2 grain elevators.
Well, that's fine. You have the facts well in hand. But let me tell you something that you won't find in encyclopedias or almanacs. Something about those 18,000 persons. In the first place, right now they're completely dazed, like a punch-drunk fighter. They know that the communists are in control, but they don't know what that means. This is the perfect psychological time to attack, but they're off balance. And remember this for the future. This is an attack, exactly like any military operation. I have my battle plans. Soon I shall have subordinates to carry them out. And I intend to win the campaign.
We're inside the city limits, sir.
You know the way, driver?
Yes, sir. It's on the left there, about 2 blocks ahead.
Ah, yes. I see the tower and the flagpole. But no flag.
There's quite a crowd there, Mr. Martin. Maybe we should have brought a military escort.
For what? I don't need protection. After all, I'm here as a friend, bringing to the people of this town all the benefits of our new democracy. This is a welcoming committee, not a bunch of vigilantes.
Here we are, sir.
Come on, Farrington. Here's where I make my first speech.
Right behind you, sir.
Oh, is this Mr. Martin? Oh, of course it is. I recognize you from your pictures. I'm the mayor of Springfield, and I want
Do you have a microphone here on the steps?
Why, yes, we do.
Where is it?
It's right over here, sir.
Introduce me, please.
Yes, sir. Oh, excuse me, please.
People of Springfield, fellow citizens, it is my pleasure to introduce a man who has been assigned to help our community achieve prosperity and strength. A man who has come many miles on this mission and who, I am sure, will grow to love our town of Springfield as we love it.
Introduce me. Forget about the rest of your speech.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Communist Party leader, Mr. Floyd Martin.
My comrades, my friends, the yoke of reactionary oppression is lifted from your shoulders. Henceforth, you are free men. The victorious communists have brought you to the new democracy, and from this moment, your town will blossom. But you have responsibilities too, my friends. You must expose any nationalist spies who may lurk in your midst. I know you would not willingly hide them within your houses, but if anyone knows where there may be guns or ammunition, you must report it at once. Failure to supply this information is a serious crime against the people, and the people know how to punish their enemies. Comrades, one thing more. We want to know your problems, your complaints. Has anyone hurt you or stolen something of yours? I want to know his name. Our party is determined to banish injustice forever. You must help us by revealing the crimes of the unjust. Together, we shall march forward to the bright sun of the new democracy.
Come on, Farrington, that's enough for a start.
Excuse me, sir.
What about him?
Who?
The mayor.
Oh, yes, sure. Bring him along.
I want to offer my services, Comrade Martin, in any way they can be used. I have always been a servant of the people.
Farrington, what time is it?
Just after 2, sir.
Where is your office, Mayor?
Why, it's right down this corridor.
I'll use it as my temporary headquarters. In 30 minutes, I want the city council there. All of them, understand?
Yes, sir. Oh, here is the office.
Very well. Come on in, Farrington, and we'll... No, not you, Mr. Mayor.
But I was only...
You have your orders. Go find a phone someplace and start rounding up the council. Then report back to my office. All right, everybody. Let's get down to work. There are several important things to be done immediately. First of all, we are establishing a workers' league. We want the strong, young people of the city who are willing to carry out the party's orders. These young men are destined to lead Soviet America to its glorious destiny. Membership will be voluntary, but you will see that the ranks are filled.
Mr. Martin.
Yes?
This Workers' League, is it a union or a political organization or what?
What is your name?
Clayton, John Clayton, 6th Precinct.
Well, Mr. Clayton, the League will consist of every male between the ages of 16 and 30. We want brave, tough men, good fighters. They alone will be allowed to carry arms. To them will go the fruits of victory.
Then this is a military group.
Of course.
But we've had already so much fighting and bloodshed in Springfield. 5 times the city changed
Mr.
hands.
Clayton, I've been patient about my explanation. I can't take all day to talk to one man. The Workers' League will be established. Is that understood? Now, the next thing. I want a complete list of the property holders in Springfield. Every family will be classified. Well, which one of you has handled the tax assessments?
I have.
Your name?
Oliver Poole.
You get that, Farrington?
Yes, sir.
You will deliver the list to Mr. Farrington Poole.
Yes, comrade.
I also want a complete listing of persons who belong to various organizations which are anti-Soviet and anti-communist. Will you read the organizational names, please, Farrington?
Mm-hmm. First, all capitalist parties, Republican, Democrat, Progressive,
Oh,
Socialist...
excuse me. I need hardly point out that the Communist Party will function alone as the party of the masses. Go ahead.
Next, the Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club, American Legion, YMCA, and such fraternal orders as the Masons, Oddfellows, Elks, Knights of Columbus.
Members of those organizations have been declared enemies of the people. Naturally, further meetings are forbidden, and the organizations are hereby dissolved.
And the last group includes persons who had important civil service jobs, former Army officers, policemen, and prison personnel, and prominent and active members of the local home guard.
But, Mr. Martin,
Yes?
we'll have everybody in town on at least one of those lists. Some of them on 2 or 3.
That's right.
Well,
Well, what?
is that what you want?
That's what I asked for, isn't it?
Yes, but I...
Mr. Martin, what are you going to do with those lists?
Anyone who appears there will be under suspicion. They must prove themselves loyal to the new order.
Then it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be purged?
Why, of course not. You've been reading too much foolish talk in the anti-Soviet papers. And incidentally, Farrington, inform the editor of the local paper that publication will be suspended until I have a chance to explain the new editorial policy.
Yes, sir.
Now, gentlemen, I am here only as a representative of the Communist Party to organize your community as a coordinated part of Soviet America. In some parts of this country, there is still revolt, the lack of discipline. But here in Springfield, we shall get along very harmoniously, I know. And now, that'll be all for today, gentlemen.
I admire your technique, Mr. Martin.
Yes, it's difficult when you have to deal with such as these.
You'll want Clayton and Poole removed, won't you?
Well, you're a jump ahead of me, Farrington. Yes, find out their resignations. Also, I can't stand much more of the mayor. It reminds me of nothing quite so much as a dead fish in a delicatessen window. He'd better resign, too.
All right, sir.
Do you have any questions about this operation so far?
No, I'm not familiar with setting up this workers' league. What is it exactly?
Oh, yes, I should have explained to you. You see, the Soviet Union is preparing a new assault on the areas in this hemisphere that are not yet under our control. A big army will be necessary, and it will come from these occupied states. Now, the Workers' League is a device which we set up in each community. You notice the age level, 16 to 30?
Yeah.
Well, this will be the nucleus for a disciplined, indoctrinated corps. We'll give them classes from morning to night, both political and military classes. They run errands for us, follow up clues on hiding of arms and spies in the city, and we'll use them for patrolling the streets. Then when the call comes, they'll be ready to be the shock troops of the new democracy.
Very clever.
Yes, isn't it? Yes, our leaders have planned well.
And what's the next immediate step?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a very touchy point. Now, we must train the minds of the entire population. We must change them psychologically. To do that, we need a scapegoat, someone they can hate, someone that eventually they will kill. And once you've made men into beasts by having them kill something, then you control them forever. We'll have a trial. Now, let's see, probably next week.
And who's to be tried?
Oh, that's what I'm getting those lists for. I don't know who it'll be. All I do know is that he'll be on the top of the list of the property holders, the richest man in Springfield. That's always a safe bet, a rich man. Because, you see, people envy anybody who's successful. And envy and hatred are twin brothers. It should be easy to secure a conviction. Please, comrades, no demonstration. I shall repeat the question once more, Mr. Henderson. You were the president of the Guarantee State Bank, is that true?
Yes.
Speak up.
Yes, that's true.
And you've heard the testimony given by the members of the Workers' League that you foreclosed on mortgages, forcing families to leave their homes and their fields.
I need some legal advice on this.
You have advice. I advise you to answer the questions.
Yes, I did foreclose, but that's...
Just yes will be sufficient.
But that's how the banks are run. There's nothing different between what I did and what's done all over the country. If someone defaults on a mortgage, then it's only a matter of time until the collateral has been pounded.
Quiet, please. Please. I agree with you here in the court that there is no defense, no excuses. He is an enemy of the people. But let us avoid bloodshed. Now, perhaps Mr. Henderson will repent of his actions and become a good citizen of the new order. Since it is apparently the desire of the people to see justice done, justice tempered with mercy, I hereby sentence William Henderson to 10 years penal servitude for crimes against the state. Next case.
You are listening to Enemy of the People, a story of the way things could be if communism took over. A picture of what life would be like under a communist regime in an ordinary American town. A town we call Springfield, USA.
Come here, Mr. Tang. Did you get the court transcript?
Yes, I did.
Good. Destroy them, will you?
Don't you want a record, Cap?
No, I'll turn in a report to the Central Committee, and they'll be satisfied with that. I had to make sure that these test cases resulted in conviction. That's why I took those extra legal measures. No defense lawyer, no jury. And it serves another purpose, too. Those people in the courtroom will be firmly convinced that they, rather than the new government, they themselves were punishing their enemies.
I see.
Now that the first is over, we can speed up the tempo. Oh, did you see those papers I wanted?
Yeah, they're right on your desk, there in the basket.
Oh, yes. Now, let's see. We'll take the officers of the Chamber of Commerce and the rest of the City Council next.
They're pretty much respected in Springfield, sir.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm changing tactics. Instead of making charges of some sort or other, these, let me see, 14 men, these men will simply disappear. Have a squad of the Workers' League pick up each man on this list and take him to the railway station. I've made arrangements for a special car to take them to Caldwell Labor Camp.
That's 500 miles away.
Yes. And I don't believe they'll have any friends or any influence there.
And by the time their location is found out?
By that time, we'll have the city by the throat. It's a simple technique. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Put brother against brother. Family against family. Let them make the charges, pass judgment, and carry out the sentence. We confiscate the land, the houses, the money, the tools.
Isn't it true that you made anti-Soviet statements to your children?
Yes. Your land belongs to the state.
Your wife quarreled with the woman next door, who is a loyal party member. Is that not true?
Yes. Your property is confiscated and belongs to the state.
You loaned money to this man and charged him interest, did you not?
Yes. Your house, your furniture, your clothing are taken as restitution. They belong to the state.
You rented houses to these workers at exorbitant rates, didn't you?
No. You are sentenced to death by hanging.
You hid this gun in the attic of your house.
No, I didn't. Death by hanging.
You led a demonstration in front of the city hall, didn't you?
Yes. You will be beaten to death on the city hall steps.
What should I do with these death reports, Comrade Martin?
Oh, file them there. Keep a running report on who participated in these executions. It gives us a hold on the man and his family.
Oh, how do you mean?
Well, our only hope of life is to continue to support the Communist Party and the new democracy. Once they're involved in one of these killings, we can assure them that they'll be on the receiving end if the old order should ever come back.
I see.
Now, things have gone very well so far. The indoctrination team has done wonders with the Workers' League. They're so full of the party line, they sound like little dictograph machines, talking when you press a button. Yes?
Mr. Tyler, the Central Committee is on the line, sir.
All right.
Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Tyler. This is Floyd Martin.
How are you, Floyd? Got an important assignment for you.
All right.
What condition are your recruits in?
Perfect. Politically, physically, in every way.
What do you call them there?
The Workers' League.
Well, there's something in the wind down here. We're calling in the whole lot from every town and city in this area. How many do you have?
Oh, 2,116.
Good. Send them to the training camp at Beckley, and we'll assemble the rest.
Is that all?
Yes, unless you have something to report.
No, not a thing. Everything in Springfield is well under control.
Members of the Workers' League, you have the commendations of the Communist Central Committee for the strides you've made in these few short months. To you will come, eventually, the highest rewards, the best houses, the most food, the highest positions, and all honor. Higher honors await you. And here to tell you about this is your beloved leader, Comrade Martin. Yes, Comrade, your day has come. Your day of glory. You have won much in the past, but in the future lies your destiny.
You must strike directly at the enemy and destroy him. The enemy, who even now seeks to take from you the benefits the Communist Party has given you. High honor awaits you at the front. March off with your heads high, for you are the elite corps, the soldiers of communism, the sharp troops of the new democracy.
Oliver Poole.
Yes? Oh, hello, Clayton. Nice to see you again.
Oliver, is your son with the League?
Yes, just said goodbye to him. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'm glad to see him go. He's changed so.
Yes, I know what you mean. Old town's changed. Springfield's a ghost town now. All the older men of any influence are gone. Almost all the business district and residential property belongs to the state.
Now our children are gone. Our boys, who just a few years ago had bright futures, now they have a future of training camps, battlefields, and eventual death for the communist cause.
Watch out. Someone will hear you.
Yes. By all means, be careful. Don't say a word against the new order. You'll wind up in the Caldwell labor camp. You're lucky. Or is it the lucky ones who get a quick and painless death by hanging?
You know, this is dangerous. Even the two of us standing here in the street, talking together, can mean trouble.
Something evil has happened to this town. Something that prevents men from speaking their minds, even to defend a man who is falsely accused. You heard about the latest trials?
Yes. Frightful.
We had bad times before. Went through a depression, suffered fires and community problems. But we worked out of them because we had faith. We had faith in our way of life. Now we have nothing but fear.
Careful. Here comes Farring. Oh, Mr. Poole, I've been looking for you.
Good morning, Comrade Farrington.
Hello, Clayton. Farrington. I've just come from the leader's office. He'd like to see you immediately, Mr. Poole.
Even though I resigned from official duties?
Of course, if you refuse to...
Oh, no. I'd rather walk over there than be dragged.
Do you want me to come along, Oliver?
No, I'll be all right.
I'll call your wife.
Thanks, but she's not at home. She left at 5 this morning with the rest of the women to go out and work in the wheat fields.
Good morning, Comrade Farrington.
Hello, Nolan. Are you free now?
You'll be busy for a few more minutes.
Take a seat there, Poole.
All right.
What is you're studying, Nolan?
Russian.
Good idea.
I'm going to night school.
You like it?
Yes, I do. I think it'll come in handy someday.
Could be. I studied it in Moscow when I was there.
I know. I thought maybe you would help me with it.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Well, you can go in now.
Thank you, Nolan. Come on, Oliver.
Come in. Well, you've been quite a stranger on here, Mr. Poole. Well, it wasn't quite of my own choosing, Comrade Martin. Of course. But you understand, I'm sure. There's always some confusion when we're reorganizing a community. Yes, I understand. Well, sit down. Thank you. Oh, Farrington, would you send down for those reports I asked about?
Yes, Comrade, right away.
Have a cigar, Mr. Poole. No, thanks. I'm happy to see the way Springfield has reacted to our government here. Things are running very smoothly. You have been most efficient. Oh, I'm not looking for personal glory. I'm simply doing a job for the party. And I'll be turning the city over to Farrington in a few days and moving on. But it is gratifying to have people like you around. What do you mean? I've kept tabs on you since your resignation from the city council. The record's quite clean. I see. Your son is in the Workers' League. He left today. Yes, I know. And your wife is in the Harvesters Association. It seemed like a good idea when the ration cards came out. Yes. Well, now we have a job for you. Oh? You handled the tax assessments in Springfield for quite a few years, didn't you? Yes. And you're familiar with all the old procedures. Well, we're not changing any of that. Now, it would be most helpful if you take over again and supervise the job of tax collection.
I see. Comrade Martin.
Yes?
I thought one of the promises that the Central Committee made was that taxes would be banished, or at least cut down.
You know that can't happen while there's still a tremendous military machine to support. As long as conflict exists in this hemisphere, we must do our full share for the brave sons of the front. Yours among them.
Do you have the forms for taxation ready?
Yes, we haven't changed anything.
Could I see one?
Mm-hmm. Right here.
Well, this is the only page I'm interested in. Yes. But this is impossible.
What's that?
Why, your tax rate is 5 times what it used to be.
I know that.
But the people can't stand it. You're taking everything the farmers have. You'll ruin the whole economy.
That's enough, Mr. Poole.
Well, this practically amounts to confiscation.
Boy, it's for your boy at the front.
Yes. My son at the front. What's he fighting for? For a dead ghost town like Springfield that's had every bit of liberty, of freedom, of life itself destroyed? Snuffed out?
Oh, Mr. Poole, you forget yourself.
No, Comrade Martin. I just remembered myself. I just remembered what it was like to be a free man. To say the things that were true for the simple reason that you wanted to say them.
What's going on in here?
You've missed quite an exhibition, Farrington. I don't believe you'll have the opportunity to see another like it. Now, you take Mr. Poole away, please. Springfield is too well under control to be bothered with this enemy of the people.
You have just heard what happens to a city under a communist regime. You have just heard what would happen to every city if communism took over. You think this could not happen? It did happen to the village of Chongqia-Chuang, Hunan province in communist China. This was a factual account of communist methods. They were welcomed as liberators of a Chinese village. Then, step by careful step, they revealed themselves as bloody terrorists who turned the village into a ghost town and took from it every last semblance of liberty and freedom. You've been listening to If Freedom Failed, starring George Macready as Martin in Enemy of the People. Paul Richards was Farrington, Tyler McVeigh was Poole, Herb Rawlinson the Mayor, and Don Randolph was Clayton. Others in the cast were Frank Gerstle, Lamont Johnson, Mark Hartman, and Lee Arnold. Music was composed by John Hicks, with musical direction by Michel Perrier. Enemy of the People was written for If Freedom Failed by Robert C. Benson. Produced and directed by Will Scott. Sergeant Lloyd Iyer speaking. This program has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.